Welcome to Sabbath Cafe Podcast. You're listening to episode 116, Finding Friendship. This is the last part of our Finding Freedom series. And what I learned is that God wants to talk with me. He loves the world, but He wants to connect with me personally, and He wants me to get to know Him too. Because at the end of the day, the real purpose in developing this connection with God is learning how to do life with God. It's like having God as your travel buddy. It's learning to relate to God and developing a friendship with God rather than just being a coworker with God, like I think a lot of us grew up with. I realized that in order for me to go deeper, I have to transition my relationship with God into a friendship, into understanding how that works, because Jesus says, I no longer call you servants, I call you friends. So in your walk with God, there will probably come a point where it will transition. There will come a point where Jesus will want to take you to that next level, to relate also with you as friends. And that's a whole different world right there. And so that's what I love about my time with God. It's learning that there's a freedom, an inner freedom, an internal freedom that does not depend on my circumstances, that does not depend on whether I get to go to church or not, because now the focus has shifted. It's shifted from what I do outside to learning how to be friends with Jesus. Honestly, the time we spend at church and with our Christian community is only a fraction of our life. If we only know how to relate to God when we're focused on church life, then we're missing out on a chance to experience God in all the other areas of our lives. It's learning to experience God in the day-to-day things. It's learning to see how God helps us to find solutions in the problem we face at work, and how God shares His perspectives about the latest news headlines. And even how He comforts and encourages us when we go through illness and difficulties. I think most of all, that's what I love most about bringing God into my personal life. In a sense, God stepped off the pages of the Bible and became real. Even though I still can't see Him or touch Him, but He's become a closer friend than a real person can be for me. And He is someone I can depend on, someone I can confide in, and someone who knows me so intimately and yet is always on my side. And that's why even though many of us are unable to gather with our church community during this season, I actually didn't see it as a challenge. In fact, it's been a great opportunity for me to press even deeper into the things of God. Now, when I do get together with my friends, when I do get together in my community, that's great. But my growth and my relationship with God and the depth and my maturity with God, it doesn't depend on any of these external things anymore. And actually, it's quite fun, me being able to just explore and go as fast as I can and explore anything I'm curious about. So that's been very exciting too. I don't really have to worry about what people think I should and shouldn't do anymore. That really doesn't matter. I have the freedom to ask God any question that comes to mind, and God is not going to be offended or shocked because He already knows anyways. It's a relief to know that He accepts me as I am always. So no matter where you are at in your life, it's the perfect place and time to talk with God. He is always ready to meet you and I with a hug and some fun insights about your situation if you're interested. I'm excited just thinking about the adventure God has in store for you. And that's all we have for this week's podcast. Again, thank you so much for listening and have a wonderful week. See you next time.